Hey, good morning, Brew Crew. It is April the 10th, 2025. Let's see, let's go ahead and change this banner. There we go. All right. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Good morning, Rick. Rick Strings. I don't know how it is there, but it's a rainy morning here. It's only about 35 degrees and rainy. It's crazy, man. Springtime, it's crazy. Yeah, sorry, Lynn. I just saw that. Good morning to you. Yes, I'm going to be on. A minute or so late, but I'm on. Cowboy Steve, how's it going, buddy? I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, man. Good to see you still hanging in there. Still hanging around. HO Steel Mill Modeler. How's it going? It raining there too, yeah. Might get to 90. Heat wave in California. Well, I'd much rather have the 90. I don't know, maybe not. Model Railroad Show. How are you? Good morning. Yeah. Log in on my phone here. I'll give you a wrench there, buddy. So you can click on other channels in the chat and go check them out if you want to. I don't mind that you do that. See if I'm on here yet. Stand by. There you go. That is moderator. There you go. Okay, Model Railroad Show. You should have a wrench now, or you should be shortly. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Hey, Forever DC. How are you doing today? Snowing there. Oh, you can keep that. We had that the other day. It was crazy, man. I think it was Monday. Actually got out of work a little bit early. I feel like I'm yelling at you guys. When I listen to my shows back, sometimes I'll do that. Because I feel like, I don't know if it's, maybe I have the settings wrong on the mic or something. But I feel like I'm, I don't know, almost distorted because maybe like I'm trying to talk too loud. Almost like you guys are deaf, you know. Hey, Ray. Good morning, Ray Bertelson. So I'm going to try to mute it down or back it down a little bit on how loud I'm talking. I kind of move the mic back. I put one of these little filter things on there, you know. See if that doesn't help. So let me know if it sounds better or worse. No difference. I do kind of try to make this show so it sounds a little bit better. I don't know. Stormy Sky. What's going on, Dave? Good morning. Dwayne, how you doing, Dwayne? Dwayne's Fork and Spoon. Ronald, what's happening, Ronald? Good morning. Okay. Yeah, sorry, guys. I got the notification up a little bit late this morning. Went to breakfast this morning with family. So just kind of got back. Not yet 50 in Jersey. What am I supposed to do today? Not too warm. It's just 44 today. It's supposed to be. Might be like mid 40s to mid 50s all weekend. Today's the biggest chance of rain, 84% all day. Always my off days. Then when I got to work, it's nice. Oh well. What are you gonna do? So let me see where I'm at here. I think I'm caught up on the chat at this point. So I haven't really done well, I think for those of you that saw the empty auto racks, you just have well cars. Haven't really done any more in that area. You see there. This camera is a little crummy. Somebody said it looked kind of cartoonish. I don't know what to do to change that. It's definitely one of my oldest cameras. I need to get some better cameras. I was looking on eBay for some cameras. There's some used Logitech 920s that are terribly priced, which is what my main camera is. Should be getting the train coming around. So let me turn that camera. It's a mess. Sorry about that. Probably lose you guys when I move this camera. But... Okay. I got a view of that. Oh, this new kind of stand I got Christmas. And it's a good 6 feet tall, which is nice. I guess you can see that. So I had to order some more turnouts. I got a bunch of right-hand turnouts. I need a bunch of left-hand turnouts. This is going to be my CSX yard. Willard yard. So I was working on that the other night. None of this is nailed down, so don't mind the tracks are still a little wonky, but I'm going to see if I like that three-way switch down there. I've never really used one, so I'm not sure I'm going to like it. Hey, Dave. Still falling out with mid-40s later, yeah. I didn't make coffee yet. I'm way behind this morning. Yeah, I hear that. I drank so much coffee at breakfast. I don't even know. Not really in the mood for much coffee anymore right now. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. I think that did most of that Tuesday. Started Sunday and then did most of this Tuesday. So I'll have 4 storage tracks. That track over to the right is going to go into the shops here. So there'll be 3 tracks into the shops. Now I have 2 tracks coming alongside the shop. But I'll see how I like that three-way switch. I'm not sure I'm going to like it, but we'll see. Hi, good morning, Lawrence. Sitting in a parking lot in Vanport waiting for the rain to clear. I'm going to start my work. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I definitely got a lot of work to do still on that. But intermodal. But we'll get there. Morning, Delta 9. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, we'll see. I still got to put like all my backer board up on the peninsula here, so I can put some kind of backdrop up and all that kind of thing. But we'll see how it goes. Back to my ugly mug. Hey, Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Good morning. Hey, Corey. Oh, Corey, you got in trouble with Screw Tube. I'm a whole channel. Oh, no, Joe. So this is their new channel. I got you. Yeah, they get funny, man. But like I was trying to say Monday, I got out a little bit early. It was probably 3:30, something like that. Usually I work till 6. A little bit slow day. And got in the car. It said it was 52 degrees. The sun was shining. It was nice. Got home within an hour. The winds were picking up. It was getting a little dark. Started to rain. Within the next hour, it was snowing. We just was 50 degrees. And we went down the snow. It was like, 32, 31. It was wet snow. It was sticking on the grass and that, but I was like, oh my gosh, man. How is this snowing now? It was just 50 degrees out 2 hours ago. So that's spring in Cleveland, though, man. It's Honest to God, it's bipolar, the weather here. It's insane. Especially spring and then late fall. You're kind of trying to transition from winter into spring and then fall into winter. You get these weird weeks of weather. What's everybody's opinion on the tariffs? I think people need to just kind of let this play out, is what I think. I think these countries have been ripping us off, all of them, for way too long. And yeah, it's probably going to raise some prices. What I do think is baloney is that these companies are preemptively saying we're not going to be able to, possibly won't be able to honor pre-order pricing and all this other stuff, which that's bullshit. In my opinion, that's bullshit. This is what you price it at. This is what I agreed to pre-order it at. If you're not going to honor that price, I may not keep the pre-order. So I think it's going to kind of hurt them, maybe. And again, I think it's going to be one of those deals where we just kind of have to wait and see how things play out. I know he said he was going to pause the tariffs on for 90 days for 75 countries or something. I've already reached out to him, wanting to work something out. And, I don't think he wants to punish people. I think he's trying to actually get things to be an actual free trade. Or why do we have tariffs? There's no need for tariffs anymore. For any country to have tariffs. Tariffs were set up after the Second World War to help rebuild Japan and England and Europe and so on and so forth. I don't think it was meant to be a constant trade imbalance where we're constantly getting screwed. So, oh, cool. That'll be fun. My wife really wants to start a garden. And I just have to figure it out because I don't get a lot of sunlight anywhere in my yard, so it's kind of hard. We had one little patch along the driveway where we tried some those 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot and Lowe's, and I kind of put them up on bricks, drove some drain holes in the bottom with some fabric, so all the dirt didn't come out, landscape fabric, and it didn't come out too bad. We did that a couple years ago. Got some tomatoes and just basic tomatoes. She don't like peppers, but I did a small. She likes to make salsa, so I did a jalapeno plant, tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. I like, but the cherry tomatoes never make it in the house. I get out of the car and I pick them off the vine, and as soon as I see them. What else we did? We did one pot that was a little bigger, and we kind of put a triangle teepee of steaks. We did green beans. Those were good. So I just got a 3D printer for free from work. Oh, no shit. The Lego. I hear those are pretty good. Jim can maybe tell you more about the 3D printing. Good morning, Jim, by the way. I was just talking to him about maybe wanting to try to print some intermodal cranes. That blue crane you saw up there earlier, it's from Cox, COX, from way back in the day. I have two of them. I found two of them at a show one time a couple years ago. I think I got them both for $30, $15 a piece. But they're too big, and I'm not crazy about the look of them. But if you go and look up CSX, North Baltimore, Ohio, intermodal facility, you'll see the cranes that they use. Those big modern, they're all run on electric. There's 7 of them out there. And they're kind of a cross between, it's a modern version of that blue crane. Let's see if I can turn the camera again and so you know what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, there you go. Let's watch this go by real quick. This is my junkyard. So I was talking to Jim about maybe seeing if there was a file for an intermodal crane that he knew about. And I don't know if I could print it. You can't. You see the blue one there? This camera is pretty bad. I'm going to have to do something about that, change that out. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize how bad that camera was. That one's going to have to go. So, yeah, the blue one there. I got 3 MyJack cranes, the 3 yellow ones from Walthers. And they're okay. But if I want to be more prototypical for the facility I'm trying to model, I need something a little more modern, larger. But see, that crane, the blue one, is actually from the edge of my layout to the wall. So it's actually overhanging the main lines, which doesn't look right. So I want something that's going to only be, because it's only 18 inches wide, my bench work there. I couldn't go 24. I would have really narrowed down the aisles too much. I guess I could have went wider there and like less wide on the other side, but then it would have really cut down the bench work on the peninsula. So anyhow, that was a thought, but that's cool. You got a 3D printer. I've used mine quite a bit, mostly for small things, and that's why I wanted just a small resin printer for detailed stuff. As conservative as I am, I blame the ghost of the bastard Ross Perot for this whole mess. We should have never done business with those genocidal comments. Yeah, but he was talking about tariffs and everything then, and free trade and the imbalance of trade. And then you get like Clinton comes in and does NAFTA and all that other shit and really just encourage all these businesses even more to take off and get out. Unions didn't help. They kept demanding more and more, and companies said, well, you guys just made it so easy for us to leave. We're not going to pay you guys. We're going to go pay cheap labor. And that's a very simplistic way of looking at it. I'm sure there's more in depth than that. I really don't want to talk all into that. I just think people need to let things kind of play out and see what happens. And if these, train companies want to, make us pay it all, instead of them taking a little bit of the hit, they've all raised their prices on shipping. And, they're raising prices on things they already have in stock, some of them. And now Walthers, I think, was the one that came out saying that they weren't going to be able to honor pre-order pricing. Well, you pre-order it for a friggin' reason, so you can hold the pricing. Partly. 3D printing is coming handy and can be kind of aggravating. Yeah, see, that's my problem. Jim has been a godsend, and he's probably sick of hearing from me, but he's really helped me to with files and how to fix files and do all that kind of stuff. The printing part I got down pretty good, but it's getting things into the right format to print for my Creality. It's been kind of a headache. Trying to get better at like learning how to do all the splitting splicing. But you'll get there, man, and it's pretty cool actually. And some prints come out great, and some prints don't come out so great. Sometimes you got to play with them. Sometimes you got to add like supports and different things. But it saved you on some of that stuff anyways. Like depending what kind of printer you have, I mean, you can print buildings and everything. I mean, you probably saw the video that I did, the mail call from Rails with the grain elevator. And he printed that whole thing out. There was a file he got off, I can't remember the guy's name. Somebody had a file for it, but he was able to print it on his printer. And he graciously printed it for me as well. So there's a part of me that wouldn't mind getting a larger printer. Tennessee River Union, I'm here, but just got a few minutes. Got several doctor's appointments this morning. Okay. Well, thanks for popping in, Chris. Buy your trains and eggs here and smuggle them across. Yeah, but you guys ain't that good either, man. Rapido's prices are super high, higher than scale trains, after and all of them. Hey, you guys are the one charging us a shit ton of tariffs too. Milk, eggs, oil, everything, grain, 150%, 250%. That's bullshit, man. Thought we were friends. Damn it. We are friends. I'm just saying. These governments are all full of shit. Yours, mine, all of them. I've done business with many people in countries. Yeah. As soon as they let China into the World Trade Organization, it all changed. You don't do business with commies, man. I should have built that big berm around the intermodal yard there. Oh, she would have, yeah. Probably to, keep wandering eyes away. It's a big yard. It's a pretty cool yard, man. I don't know if you've been there recently, but when I was there, I don't know, a year or so ago, they have that huge, like warehousing facility across the street from it, where I think a lot of that stuff's going to end up coming and going to, So, hey, Thomas's Trains, original 1937 New York Central Railroad spine. I don't know. That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Keep it up there, man. I don't want it. It's raining here. So far, it's just rain. It's 37 degrees, so it could change. It says it feels like 30. It's supposed to be 45 today. We'll see what happens. Damn it. I've been looking for a new project. All I need is a crane manufacturer. What brand of crane do you want? Let me see if I could pull. Bear with me here. If I could pull an image up. X. Let's see if I can pull up those cranes. I don't know who manufactures them. Images. That's a cool image. See if I can bring that up. That's not what I was trying to do. Got it. Trying to make that full screen. Yeah, I don't know if you can see those cranes there. So I love that. That's the yard. That's the North Baltimore facility. I was trying to make that picture bigger. Yeah, let me do this. Stand by. Unshare that. Let me go back. Where'd I go now? Ay, ay, ay. I haven't shared screen in a long time, so bear with me. This one. Stop screen. All right. Start screen. This one, I think. Share that. Go back here. And there we go. But that's better. That's a little better. So yeah, there's a shit ton of tracks in here, man. And if you look way down at the bottom right corner, you can see that little blue. That's a little MyJack crane down there. So you can see how small that shit is compared to these big monsters here. And they're huge. And I think there's 7 of them there. And they're just massive. So, I mean, if that's something you'd be interested in, steel mill. I can never remember your name. I am so sorry. I could get you some measurements because I couldn't have them probably that long. I'd have to, shorten them and width-wise. I'm trying to think of what I have there width-wise, what I would want them. See if I can get it measured out. So yeah, I need that to be maybe no more than a foot wide, side to side like that. So right now that blue crane that's there is just shy of 18 inches. So like I said, it goes from the edge of the layout all the way to the wall. And I don't want it to cover the main line. I just want it to be in the intermodal yard. You know what I mean? It's just too wide. I could probably try to modify it, but it's really kind of toy-like in that anyways. You know what I mean? It really needs to be a little more detailed, a little more modern looking. That was meant to, and these actually, I think they're on rails. So I would like to figure something out before I actually put in my concrete and everything, because that's going to all be encased in concrete, just like I did the town. If you go back and watch that video, the town is that way. Actually, my General Mills plant has the concrete done that way. So does my cement plant, Stony Cement. The way I do the concrete, which is, I use the, what do you call it, the 1/8 inch hardboard to cover the majority of it. I get it up as close to the tracks and then in between the tracks as I can. Then I put the drywall compound over top of the tracks and then, carve it out and all that stuff. So, but I would like to have probably three of them, maybe. Somebody said Walders or something was supposed to be coming out with more of a modern crane, but I haven't seen that yet. And plus, you're probably going to want some ridiculous amount of money for it. But yeah, I don't even know if that's something that you can do. Yeah. I agree with you on that. Yeah, well, Trump even said yesterday, I was at work, I didn't hear it until later, but he said, now's the time to buy. Like 4 hours later, he paused the tariffs and the market went up to the friggin' through the roof, man. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't read everybody's thing. I know Scaltrains made some kind of dumbass announcement. So did Athern and Walders. All jumping the gun on all this stuff. And I mean, I heard some guys bitching on one of the Facebook forums about, I think it was Walders, maybe Athern, but, charging more for stuff that's already here in their warehouse. So I'm not sure. I don't like Broadway Limited's products. I don't know. I'd probably buy a steam locomotive for them. I've had their diesels, not been impressed at all. I had nothing but issues with them. Now, with that being said, I bought their Paragon 4 or 3. I had a 2 and a 3. The 2 still sitting here. I had it sold, but then I couldn't get it to run. That's after, well, about a year before that. And then I packed it up because I shut the layout down and restarted. But I had them put a whole new board and everything in it. Broadway Limited. I paid to have them fix it and decided to sell it not too long ago, about 6 months ago. And I ended up backed out of the deal because it's like, wait a minute, they ain't running. Couldn't get it to run. And then to send it back to them again is going to cost me $100. So I just haven't felt like fixing it. I'll probably fix it and sell it, which isn't going to be worth it because then I'm going to have to charge more money for it because I have to pay to fix it again. Because the warranty after they fix it was only, I think, a year, and it's been like 2 years now. So I get they can't warranty them forever, but come on, man. Our railroad manufacturers had a brain, they'd come out with their own brand of 3D printers and send as rail car and locomotive via files via subscription. You still have to buy the trucks and the wheel sets and the couplers and all that, but yeah. I don't know. If we're going to pay all this extra money, I don't know. Maybe it's worth looking at making some of this shit in the States again. Yeah, like Matt said. I mean, they say, well, it's too expensive to build it here. Well, shit, if you're going to charge us all this money anyways. You know, I got a friend I work with. Her husband used to be a buyer and a big shot with Joanne Fabrics. Saw the writing on the wall, a couple years back. He still does that type of stuff. I don't know where he's at now, but she told me that anything that they sold over to China, anything that we sell to China sits in warehouses and rots. Because those commies don't want their people to know, what's going on around the world. So they charge huge tariffs and they don't even sell the shit over there. Yeah. It's funny. So the one scale trains I got, the Heritage unit, the Atlantic Coastline, was missing a step. Good quality control there. Scale trains, way to go. And it has a bent handrail. Again, same thing. So I don't know. When I first got them, I sent in a request order, said, hey, can you send me a step? I can repair it. Send me the step. Finally got it yesterday, a month or two later. Yeah, maybe not 2 months. Got the handrails, another little baggie in there with one step in it. So I hope I don't break it or anything. So I wonder whose locomotive isn't going to get handrails. Because they don't keep extra parts. They just pulled it off of a unit that, I don't know, maybe was already broken. They sent it, I didn't bring the box down. Damn it, I meant to grab the box. They send it in a box that they would normally send like a single locomotive in or like a freight car or two in. Like, box, filled by whatever. And this is all that was in it. Are you shitting me? I had to laugh. And then this, just a little bubble pack for I'm out of couplers. I had to buy couplers from Yankee Dabbler. Not too bad. I mean, considering 57, I paid for these. You had to add shipping in, but shipping wasn't too bad. Yankee Dabbler's not too bad on shipping, really. Yeah, don't give me a price on here. I think I paid 65-ish total for the shipping and the couplers. It's just 25 pairs. The 50 pairs where you get 100. There's 50 in here. Where you get the 100 couplers for 50 pairs is like $100. Over $100, 109 or something. So, I think where's KD made? Are they made in the United States? Those are made in the United States. They've gone up some too. Just in general, they've gone up some. I'm going to keep this in this bubble pack so I get ready to mess with it. But, they are getting all this shit from China, which, that's what they do. That's where it all comes from. And the quality control is terrible. It's gotten worse. And I love Scout Trains. Don't get me wrong. Great company, great people there. I like their beliefs. And they're a good company. But the bigger they've gotten, just like all of them, they're having more issues with quality control, and price keeps going up. Well, I mean, it could be, Steven, and we don't need to be putting that shit in our stuff anyway. That's what I'm kind of hoping Kennedy can help fix some of that bullshit with the FDA and everything. Why do we have all these extra things in our products? We don't need them. They don't have them in Europe like that. All this dye and chemicals and shit like that we put in our stuff. So, what do we need to just get back to basics here? We need to start producing stuff here again. That's the problem. I know it's going to cost more. It's going to be a little rough in the beginning, but I don't know. World Trade Organization, the World. I forget what WEF stands for. Might as well get a new world order with Lucifer as the CEO. Yeah, the true Nazi, who was actually a Nazi. Merkel brought LGBT back to Germany. It is possible, yeah. With the China for cheap labor, make them here in the U.S. Tool shops are looking for work, yeah. As I said, I think in the beginning it's going to be tough. And some of these companies are going to have to eat some of it. We're going to have to eat some of it. But I don't know, man. There's got to be a way. I'm no economist. I'm no stock market guy. I don't claim to be. But from a layman's terms, it just seems like it should be cheaper to make it in the country that you're selling most of it to. You're not selling this shit to China. The Chinese ain't buying these things. People can't. They got more worries than model trains. But I think most of the sales from all these companies, they make all this stuff in China and they sell it to Europe, they sell it to Australia, they sell it to the United States and Canada. Hey, Wesley. Sorry, man. Trying not to rant here, but it's kind of been that way so far this morning. It's not what I really like to do necessarily, but yeah. Well, I've been doing some things, selling some things, doing a little bit of extra to kind of save up money for these pre-orders because, as you guys know, and call me crazy, call me what you want, I don't really care. Not looking for permission or acceptance on it. I'm looking to collect the heritage units, just like guys collected the Norfolk Southern stuff. I'm a CSX guy, and I'm looking to collect it. Unfortunately, I'm collecting it in these high-priced times. So, my goal is to save over the pre-order time, and it's going to suck if they just jack these prices up. And we'll see if it gets bad enough, then I guess it sucks to be me. I have to make a decision, But I'm not really buying a lot of other stuff. Like this was stuff, I'm out of couplers. I needed couplers because I hate their couplers. I change them out. Scout Trains, there's terrible couplers. They look good, they don't work good, in my opinion. And a lot of people's opinion, obviously. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. You have a great day yourself. Take it easy. And again, I'm not trying to offend anybody. Sorry if you get mad at me or offended. I'm just saying that, Hey, there's Joe. Well, you're late again, but you're probably staying up half the night working on those silos, man. Those are sweet, man. But there is a lot of supports that you're cutting off on those things for sure. Darren Hamill, how are you doing? Good morning. Hey, Rainbow Bell. What's happening, Ray? Good morning. You does not allow diet soda sales and the food ingredients are completely different. It's true. But the same product. There's different ingredients in Europe that it does here. No reason for it. And sorry, I think a lot of it's making us sick. Yeah. Thanks, man. How far behind am I? Oh, geez, it's 20 minutes ago. See, I get to talking and I forget to scroll the chat. Yeah, it's my hope, Dad. I mean, it's a passion of his. It's been a lifelong passion of his to tackle the pharmaceutical companies and the FDA and all that kind of stuff. Agree with it all? Probably not, but some of it I do. We just sent the first train over the new bridge at Mammoth Spring. After they're all flooded, it was simple train, as they call it. Well, sample train. That the one that just washed out like a week or so ago? Last week? The component of narrowing down what folks on WIC stamps can buy, soda, candy, Twinkies. There's a reason why many honestly are so big. No, you're not wrong, and I didn't used to be allowed to buy stuff like that. Back in the late 80s, I worked at one of the grocery stores, and they were limited to what they could buy. And the WIC was strictly baby food, formula, diapers, I think, strictly stuff for maternity and early childhood. We weren't allowed to buy a lot of junk. I don't think. Probably like milk and eggs and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and like regular food stamps, you weren't allowed to buy alcohol, tobacco, any of that shit on that. I don't know. That might still be the same. I'm not sure. We're going back to like 87 to 89, 90 when I worked for one of the local grocery stores in high school, So I can compress that crane and should be able to make it look right to fit the space. 12 wide, wide like side by side, side to side from the wall out. I don't know, man. Let me see how tall that these would be. Taller than these My Jacks, because these My Jacks, the double stack containers just fit underneath like the little loading crane part. I know I'm behind in the chat. Bear with me. So that blue crane is about 6.5 to 7, between 6.5 and 7 tall. And the width of it is like 5 inches, or like beside this width this way, and tall, and then deep was there's like 12 inches. I wouldn't go any more than 12. I'd actually maybe cut it even back a little bit, so even 11. Just enough to hang over the backside of the last track so it can bring stuff down on top of trucks. So say 12 would be fine, 11.5 even. Now, do you build that from scratch, or is that something you would print? You're being the oiler maintenance man for those cranes. That looks like a workout. Yeah. Yeah, and those ones I showed were those are all electric cranes. So they have that whiz kind of like whizzing sound, from that electric. Like when you say an electric weed whacker compared to a gas weed whacker, there's that difference in sound there. You kind of hear that. It's pretty cool and it's impressive as hell, man. Those bitches are all lit up and everything, man. So when you come in and you kind of see them as the sun's coming up and they're still in the dark, you can see like the glow there from that yard as you're coming up on it. Pretty neat. And just out in the middle of the damn cornfield, really. Just outside of the little town of North Baltimore. Pretty cool area. A lot of traffic there through Deschler. It's just outside of Deschler. And that's why I decided to model this area, because I wanted to go intermodal. So I'm trying to get that facility to look at least somewhat believable. It's not going to be, prototypical completely, because I mean that thing's like, I want to say there's 7 or 8 tracks, and then there's like 2 main lines, and it's massive. But it literally just sits in the middle of nowhere. There's no port. It's an inland port, Too many stairs. I'll bet there's an elevator or something in there. Talking about those intermodal cranes. I bet there's some kind of mechanical way to get up there. Some do, Rick, but most do not, at least not in this area. I love watching someone buy 150 and mostly junk food, then pay cash for a big carton of smokes. Yeah. God damn, the price of that stuff's insane, too. I remember when I used to smoke, I quit in 99, so I think it was getting up to about $25 for a carton, which I think there's, 10 packs in a carton? Was that? Is it Ends Keller? You like Broadway Limited? Yeah, maybe it's just me. I just haven't had any. Now I haven't. I had a Paragon 2, AC 6000 with smoke. It was pretty cool. It really was pretty cool. And they're nice. They're nice. They're nicely built. They're very heavy. I feel like the handrails, were they metal? I think so. Don't quote me on that. But they were very nice and stocky. I like that about them. And then I had a ES44 AH, I think, CSX, and it had smoke, and that was a Paragon 3. So I haven't had any Paragon 4s. Now, I've heard great things about the HO scale steam locomotive. I've heard great stuff about the steamers. I don't run steam, though. Well, this doesn't make anything. They buy stuff to package. Yeah, that's true. There's so much waste, fraud, and abuse in the social programs. It's disgusting. I'm so sick of social workers telling their clients to use an ambulance like a taxi. Yeah. Well, they have. I know they used to do some HO scale. Got to we'll research that crane, Dave. Don't worry about the tariffs or the economy. Everything will be great in MAGA. I agree, man. I think we got to let it play out. I think the president is finally, I think we finally have an administration that's looking out for us. Hopefully, at least that's what they're saying. The last 40 years, you've had a lot of people, a lot of politicians say, working man, as they're screwing us with the swipe of a pen, they're sticking it up our backsides. But in the front, they're saying, oh, yeah, we got you back. As they send everything overseas, and then they sign NAFTA and the law. I was pissed, man. I was a Teamster at the time, and none of us were happy. Of course, some dumbasses still vote Democrat, or at least up until this last election. But, I got so much shit from my Democrat, from my Teamster friends when they found out I was a Republican. How could you do that? Yeah, they're not for the working man. And let me be honest. Neither are Democrats. All these politicians are out for themselves. In general. And honestly, I'm not even so much Republican. I vote that way more than I do the other way, just because the Democrats are off the rails. I don't know what the hell, they're crazy. But, and they've slowly becoming that way. I was definitely Democrat at one point in time. Hey, Tammy and Ray, how's it going? Um, yeah, I agree, Matt. I agree. I like Yankee Devil. I used to have a code. My code does not work. He says it's active. The code was CR&E, the ampersand and E, all capital. But it doesn't work. I don't know. It says it doesn't work. I've called Bob, talked to Bob. He says it's active. Doesn't work. Vinny used to have a code. I haven't been able to get his code to work. The only code I've been able to get to work is 5% off code, and that's Engineer Hall, all capitals, space between engineer and Hall, Hall. Engineer like locomotive engineer. That one still works. So that's what I mean. I use that on here. Got 5% off on those. I had to order switches because I need more switches. When this is all said and done, guys, I'm gonna have some code 100 stuff for sale. I got a bunch of right-hand turnouts, SL95s. I'm not gonna need them all. Brand new. You know, actually, the Yankee Dabbler had what SL95s. I do the Insole Frog code 100 because that's what I run. Wasn't bad, $22.50 a piece. Now, when I started buying from Yankee Dabbler, when I started the old layout, and then I used the 5% code, which for those 6 turnouts, he only charged me like $6.50 for shipping. The 5% off with Engineer Hall's code took care of $6 of that shipping, or over $6. So basically got shipping for free when I use that code, just saying. So use that code. Engineer Hall is a good channel. Check him out if you haven't. I think he is actually a Norfolk Southern engineer. He does a lot of videos with Yankee Dabbler, new product announcements and so on and so forth. So good guy. Good store. Sometimes a little slow to ship. That's only sometimes, not all the time. These shipped out quick. Depends when you order. You order on the weekend, obviously they're not going to do anything before Monday or Tuesday. Anyways, where the hell is I going with this? So yeah, when I first started ordering from them, I ordered all my track from them originally, and he offered me a 5% discount because I was ordering so much. And he let me order it in 2 batches, and he held the price. He goes, I'll hold this price for 6 months for you on the turnouts. I think at that time they were between 17 and 18. I think. No, they might have been between 15 and 16. 15 something a piece or 16 something a piece for the turnouts. They're all Pico turnouts. And I needed like 50 some turnouts at the time when I was building the other layout. So I split it into like 3 orders. I got everything I needed for the main line. Then the other stuff I split in half. And he said, I could hold that price for 6 months for you, which, was nice. I think it took me longer than 6 months, and they hadn't raised the price or anything. This was back then. I think it was like 16, 17 when I got back in. Anyways, that's a long way of saying that the prices haven't gone up too terribly much on those turnouts, at least not at Yankee Dabbler. So he sells a lot of volume. Anytime I'm looking for anything DCC, he has in stock. I do check Iron Planet Hobbies because Heath has a code, human, the word human. It's a 10% off code there. So if I can find stuff there, just cost-wise, I'll go to Iron Planet. But he has a lot of DCC stuff too. However, doesn't have the amount of stock in stock as Yankee Dabbler does. So, anyways. Steve, which couplers do I use from KD? These are the 148s. They're not the scale heads. They're the standard heads, so they're a little chunkier heads. This is the bulk pack, 25 pairs. So there's 50 in there. It'll focus a little better. That'd be great. The 158s are the scale heads, so they look more realistic. Now the heads are a little smaller. Now you got to remember, when I got back into the hobby, being completely novice, been out for 20 some years, and no faith in my abilities. So I went with the Code 100. Guys told me it was more forgiving. The track's, a little chunkier. So yeah, it's not as realistic as the Code 83. Also was recommended to go with the 148s because the heads are bigger and a little more chunky. So if you have some unevenness, you have more meat on the coupler to catch and not separate and so on and so forth. Made sense in my head. Again, wasn't real confident in my abilities, blah, blah, blah. So being I started that way, I stuck with these couplers. Yes, they are not scale size. The heads are chunkier. It's the only difference. Because it matches up with everything else. So I figured, well, everything looks the same visually. It's not going to be as noticeable if you have a scale head hooked to a regular head. That's part of the problem probably with me with the scale train stuff is they are scale head couplers and they look great. But they don't always play nice with the other couplers. So there you go. So it's kind of a visual thing. It's a financial thing too. At this point, well, not so much the couplers. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's really a difference in cost between the scale heads and the standard head. And these are medium shank couplers. Some of the other, I think the scale train bulkhead flats that I had to go with the longer ones. I think those are 149s. Don't quote me. The longer ones just because it just wasn't working out. Same thing with some of the auto racks. I had to go with the longer couplers, the longer shanks. Passenger cars would probably go with the longer shank. PD and microtrains are made here. Oh, in Oregon. Okay. Nice. Feel like customer service sucks. I didn't have a problem with their customer service. It's been a couple years ago now. I did email them and reach out to see how much, explain to them what happened with this one that they repaired for me. I got an email back and they just explained to me that it was going to cost $99. Yeah, sorry, you're having troubles, mail it back in, blah, blah, blah. Here's the information. I never did. Good morning, John. John Garvin. Morning, James. I don't remember if you were in here earlier or not. I don't know if I said hi, but hello if I didn't. 5% of my rolling stock is all USA made stuff from the 70s and 80s. Yeah. Mine isn't. I got rid of most of my stuff. I had very little that was left over from when I was a teenager. Okay, these are all my trains, 3 different coupler styles. Now, I will say this. The Walthers couplers match up real nice with KD. Their mainline products generally are cheaper. Yes, they are not as detailed. They are not as pretty, but they look good enough. They run great. They come with metal wheels. They come with metal couplers. And with that price that they charge, and they've gone up too, you can't beat it. You know what I mean? To come with metal wheels, metal couplers. Athearn drives me crazy with their plastic-ass McHenry shitty couplers. Pay $300 for a locomotive and you get plastic shit couplers. I am so against that. If you're going to pay less money for a cheaper car and get plastic couplers, fine. Paying less money for the car. Like the main line, they came with plastic couplers, that'd be okay because I didn't pay as much for it. It's a lower end quality car. But they do, they come with metal couplers. That's why I'm like, oh, that's awesome. LB inverter will power my internet. Not sure I know what that is. Day 5, I used some neighbor's generator. Oh, you're out of power. Okay. Well, that stinks. Sorry to hear that. But I do try to put anything I replace, or like if I build, I love to build kits. I love building like AccuRail and stuff. They're made in America, too, I think. American company. I think they're made here. Go, correct me if I'm wrong. But so I'll add metal, like I like the Intermountain wheels, and then I'll add the KD couplers. Getting low on wheels too, but I haven't really needed to change out any wheel sets lately. So yeah, I don't know if I put your yeah. Here you go. Well, one by I don't think I put a grass finished beef. That's where it's at. Yeah. That's part of the problem of feeding all these animals too many hormones, too much corn and shit like that. That's just fattening them up. Meat's not as good for you. Hey, Andy. Doggy just walked, panting. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are going to be doing like a wait and see and that kind of stuff. Yeah, Rick, and a lot of guys have collected all the Norfolk Southern Heritage units, and then the CSX finally is doing them. Being a CSX modeler, I want to collect them. Unfortunately, you'll probably pay your O scale, so you're probably paying, when you compare, I'm probably paying more than you did for them. For your O scale, not dollar for dollar, but when you inflation and so on and so forth, But like I said, I'm doing things to put the money aside and to make extra money to do that. And unfortunately, this is all going on while I'm trying to do that. So we'll see what happens. Very confused with all the different options for different KD couplers. Well, you have like undershank, you have overshank, meaning here's the shank. Sometimes cars won't match up no matter what you do with them, so they have ones that have like the overshank, where the head of the coupler sits on top of the shank, or the undershank, where it's sitting underneath. And then you have the regular, where it's all one level. But the head of the coupler is the difference. Then you have different length. You have short, medium, long. When I first got in, they had like an assorted pack. It was like a whole kit. It had a bunch of different shit in it, a bunch of different size couplers. It had the conversion kits for like your truck mounted couplers, like for the old Tyco and stuff. It was mounted on the trucks. Had your conversion stuff where, like when you buy them like this, it's just the couplers. If you buy like the little paper packs of them, where you get like, say, a pack of 4, they're like 2 pairs. It'll come with the boxes too, a couple of boxes. I wish I had brought mine out here, but anyways, it'll come with boxes for all 4 of them. So like if you wanted to mount the box to like to do a car mounted coupler, you need the boxes, coupler boxes. There's 146 and 48 on the passenger. There's 146, maybe that's the longer one, right? And my thing is this: when a train is rolling by at whatever speed you're running it, you're not going to notice the couplers that much. You say, "Oh, that's not scale. That's too fat." Well, if you're really paying attention, sure, you'll notice it, but I don't know. And it's totally cool for guys that do want to be 100% as prototypical as possible. I have no problem with that, at all. I'm not knocking them. I'm just telling you my story and why I go with what I go with. Now that I've gone that route, number one, when I changed the layout, I tore it down and started over. There was no way I was spending that extra money on track when I had so much track that I was able to save. And turnouts were the big thing. I wasn't going to rebuy all those turnouts. I had 50-some turnouts and needed more. So now I could have, like, say, took the second level, so I'm going to go code 83 on the second level, or just do 100s in the yards and do 83 on the main line. I could have changed to it, but here again, I didn't, and I'm happy with what I did. And I don't know. Yeah, well, number 5s and the 148s, basically the same coupler, except the 148s have the little whisker springs on them, so you don't need that little brass spring that comes with the number 5s that you got to put in the box first. This is a newer 148, I think a newer technology, I guess. But the 5s work great too. Now, I will say, if you're going to replace scale trains, couplers, I don't think you can use 5s. I don't think that's square brass plate for the number 5s will fit the scale train coupler boxes. 148s will fit. Funnily enough, though, the early first run scale trains, they won't fit. You have to modify the coupler or the box to get them to fit. Scale trains did change that in like second, third runs. The original runs, the SD40s that they came out with originally, you can't. Of course I'm behind. Of course. I mean, that's a silly question, Andy. Federal Metal Train Company, call it the Crooked Cars Railroad Company. That's not a bad idea. Like just for an industry on my layout. No, like I said, I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to know how that all works. Hey, Train Freak Jason, how you doing, buddy? I'm behind, as you can tell. I need to order some more tortoises too. If I'm going to go with everything with a tortoise, right now I'm concentrating on all the main lines, and like when you come off the main end of the yard, I'm trying to at least get the initial turnout into the yard before you spread out as a tortoise. I don't know if I'm going to do every turnout in the yard, but I'll use what I have anyways and go from there. Sometimes it's nice just to be able to reach in there and click it over and not have to mess around. I might go with push buttons on some of them. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Mike, keep on railroad. Sorry if I didn't say hi to you yet, but you're right. Same thing with food. Just it goes like with anything else. It's expensive to eat healthier foods. They're more expensive than the junk food. Although junk food's pretty expensive too. But, yeah, I mean, it would definitely be easier to eat healthy, choose healthier options if the prices were similar. Yeah. I'm sure we all have some instructions laying around in the bottom of the old blue boxes. It's crazy to pick up container and truck at the same time when things go wrong. Yeah, I've seen pictures too, man. Yeah, Dave, there is a lot of guys. Well, Jim's 3D printed his own cars for certain things. I think Thomas Grassi has. There's been a lot of guys. I've seen videos. Yeah, you gotta either buy the trucks. I don't know if you could 3D. I think you could probably 3D print the trucks too. But you would have to buy all the your screws, your couplers, your wheel sets, things like that. You probably could print plastic wheel sets. I don't know how accurate you can get them, but maybe. Interior prints for a Concord Superliner. They worked. Right. Yeah. Well, all my little New York Central, those old blue box passenger cars that I put lights and everything in. Jim Tedesco printed out all my interiors. I sent him 2 different cars, and he printed the interiors for them. And then mailed them all back. I just sent him a car because it was easier to get the dimensions that way. There was like like the supercar, a coach, and then like the last car that had like the dovetail on it. I'm gonna send him that too. Yeah, I guess it'd be an observation car. We do 2 packs a day, one for me and one for the missus. I'm starting to think heroin would be cheaper. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe how much cigarettes cost. And a lot of that's the tax and stuff on them too. Rental screens are like the ones in Norfolk, Virginia. The crane operator is not in the crane. He or she runs it remote. I don't know. It's possible too. I'm not sure. I mean, it looks like you go back to that. So if you go back to this picture, Rick, you can see there is a cab here. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but there are cabs on there and run back and forth with the crane. So I don't know. These, maybe they're in there. They're so cool though, aren't they? And they do run on rails. Yeah, they're on rails. So that'd be something I'd have to get the crane and measure and then set the rails in place before I did all my concrete work and stuff, you know, so I could have them on the rails. Or just simulate it, I guess. Make them flat on the bottom. Looks like, you know, the wheels would be covered or whatever, you know. I'm not going to probably make them like overly movable. It's going to be more of a static scene, you know. It'd be cool to motorize them, but that's fine. I'm not that fancy. But yeah, you could tell this is just out in the middle of a cornfield, man. This not even a cornfield, just open country. There's really nothing around it. Now, on the one side across the street, like I said, they built a ton of warehouses and stuff over there. Kind of generics for $12. Yeah, it's probably about when I quit. It was the late '90s, '99. I quit, and a pack of a carton of Marlboros. I used to smoke the 100s. I think it was just getting up to about 25 a carton. I used to get them for like 20-ish because I had coupons. Hey, Stu. Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see what happens. This administration seems to be pretty hell-bent on exposing a lot of stuff. And they got all of them nervous, red and blue. Nathan DeLay, looked like you had a great time up there in Sparky's place. Yeah. That's just it. Everything got to be farmed out to them. And then they're trying to do workarounds around the tariffs because they're shipping and building a lot of factories over in like Mexico and warehouses over there. And I don't know about Canada, but Mexico for sure. And then they're trying to bring it in through Mexico because the tariff was less. Shouldn't be tariffs anyways, period. Not on you guys, not on us guys. Should be zero. Free trade means no tariffs. Free trade. You want to sell shit here? I got to sell shit there. Should be equal amounts. Like, I'm not bringing cars in that are Canadian cars. They're American cars made in Canada with American names on them. I don't know that Canada makes a Canadian car. If they do, I've never seen it. I don't see them here. You know? Japan has so many like restrictions and regulations that we can't sell cars in Japan. But you could damn sure buy a lot of Japanese cars here. Same thing with Korea. Same thing with Europe. You don't see a lot of American cars running around Europe, I don't think. So it's like we've gotten the short end of the stick for 40 friggin' plus years. So I don't feel bad about him trying to equal the playing field. Problem is, it's been so one-sided, it's going to be a little painful at first. 4 years is going to be good, but the next person needs to keep it going. I agree. So, I mean, and that's the thing. These executive orders are fine, but you need to get things put into law. So we're trying to get the Congress, even the Republicans are in charge, you get a lot of the old guard, what do you want to say, the establishment Republicans, your rhinos, that are going to screw them. So, yeah, I agree. And the left is trying to die on that 20% hill, man. Their approval rating's down to like 21%. And they're trying to die on that hill. They're doubling down on all the crazy stuff, which is what got Trump elected to begin with, re-elected. Yeah, at least right now. They're becoming the party of the common man, too. A lot of your blue-collar union workers and, and he pulled a lot of, I think he won the Hispanic vote. He pulled a lot of the black vote compared to what most of them get. Like he minimized the black vote, maximized the rural vote, and the white working class vote because of common sense. And he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Everything he's done are promises he made in the campaign trail. This is not a big secret. What he's doing is what he said he was going to do. So people are like, oh my God. No, he said he was going to do these things. So calm the fuck down and let's let things play out. So we'll see. If it all goes to shit, the problem is you're not going to hear the good things. You still got enough knuckleheads in the media that are going to just keep throwing stupid shit out there. Never been there. Never heard of Nicholas Smith trains. So I think it's just a matter of, seeing how things go. It's early. He's only been in office 3 months, for F's sake, I think Jason's been to Iron Planet, I think. Website's good. They pretty good pricing and stuff. Like I said, I get a lot of DCC stuff through them. And again, Heath has a code. It's 10% off. It's human, word human. And so I try to use codes of the guys. I don't know if he gets anything for the code. I know when I had my Yankee Dabbler code, I didn't get anything for it other than the same 5% you guys got, which kind of stinks, but it's okay. It's 5% off. 5% is 5%. Help cover some of the shipping, Nothing kind of bugs me more than when you get a good price on something, but then they charge you like $13, $14 to ship it. And that's the one thing I don't like about Lombard hobbies. It's kind of nice. It is a flat rate of like $14, but if I'm buying something that's $14 or $5 or $10, and I got to pay more to ship it than for the product, like you're going to adjust it based on like something like this tiny little thing that came in a little bubble pack, still would be $14 to ship. So I might get a good price on the couplers, but to ship it, like kills it. So because I looked at them. And then ended up going back with Yankee Dabbler because the shipping was less, and I got the 5% off with Engineer Hall's code. So you got to shop around too. Train World is somebody that I've never really gone through Train World. I don't know why I'm bringing them up, but I've heard a lot of guys have gotten some pretty good deals for them too. I don't know that there's any kind of codes or anything like that, but again, I haven't really used them. I don't know why. I don't think to use them. I don't know why. What you guys think of Train World? Hope you guys have good luck with Train World. Nathan, I wish I was at home working down tree rather than sitting at my desk, taking it one day at a time. Did that tree hit your house, man? Iron Planet Honey's carries a lot of stuff, even no skill, and I see their prices are very competitive. Yeah. Don't forget about Train Freak hobbies. Check him out. You got my Crooked River crooked savings for track plans and decoder installs, but he does carry decoders and other things. Jason does with that. So always check Jason out. He'll help you out too. He'll work with you. I don't know. You sure about that? Science only matters when it's in their best interest. So, ECC, I go to Iron Planet. I start there. I can't find what I'm looking for, I go over to Yankee Dabbler. Usually. Never been a huge fan of Midwest Modeler. They used to have some 5% off codes. They got rid of all their codes. They're another one that shipping is usually kind of high. Iron Planet shipping's pretty good generally. Yankee Dabblers is pretty good generally. Don't know how competitive they are on the turnouts. I've actually had luck in the past going on eBay and buying them used tortoises. I never had one that didn't work. You know, you might have to buy a new rod because guys have cut them short. Depending if you're using, like some guys, like you buy them and they just use, like me, I'm just plywood and cork. But if you have foam, you obviously are going to need a longer rod. So you might have to buy some rod, piano wire, whatever, to replace that. When you buy them used. Well, even when you buy them new, the rod's only so long. And if you're using foam, depending on how thick the foam is, like I only used 1-inch foam on the old layout. So it was pretty good for most of them when I bought them new. But don't be afraid to look at used ones. Sometimes the guys will work with you too if it's not they're not great, they're not working right. I find out when it comes to their Iron Planet is how their physical store is set up. And because I'm used to my 2 local stores, instead of areas grouped by scale, it's kind of grouped by manufacturer. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, by scale would be a little bit easier, I think, but I can see it both ways. Never been to the store. If I ever get out that way by you, Jason, I'm going to. They're in Missouri, right? You're in Arkansas, but they're in Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. Wouldn't mind checking them out. I've been to Yankee Dabbler once. Anthony and I went up there one time, and it's a very small store. They got a lot of shit crammed in there. But you think the store is bigger when you see videos, but it's very small. At least the showroom is very small. Over Atlas is a good choice. Yankee Dabbler. Atlas track and stuff, you mean, or just Atlas in general? They carry a lot of Pico. I do a lot of the turnouts and stuff through them, more so than Iron Planet. I think when I looked at Iron Planet, I don't think I had any in stock. Atlas too, they carry a lot of the Yankee Dabbler, man. They have a lot of stock. And I like Iron Planet too. Don't get me wrong. Those are my 2 go-tos probably to start out with. Again, like I said, I haven't really hey Bud Files, good morning. I haven't really looked much at Train World. A lot of guys will use Train World. Yeah, Corey, that's not a bad idea, really. Yeah. You know, and like I said, to each their own. You know, you do what's best for you. I'll do what's best for me. You know, I know some guys are just total snobs when it comes to like Code 83. Chris, I'm talking about you. Things like that. But, and I get it, man. It's your layout. It has to look good to you. So if it drives you crazy to see Code 100 track, you're not going to use it. If you can't get past that, that's fine. You know, it works for me. I don't think anybody's ever come over to my house that's seen the layout in person or watched videos and said, "Oh my God, it's trash. I can't believe you got code 100 and 148 couplers. You're the worst modeler in the world. You know, I'm not watching your channel anymore because of your track." I mean, you know, I think more so than the track is the way you weather it and the way you ballast it. You know, it is kind of like the platter that you're putting your food on, you know, it's the presentation of it all. And I understand that, you know. So if your track work is crap and your ballast looks like crap and everything like that, then the track ain't gonna look great. So, you know, definitely got to weather it right, and you got to ballast it right. That's why I'm not against guys that want to use other methods like kitty litter and all these other things for ballast and such. You know, that's fine. You know, I do too. Most of the time, I cut them off rather than trying to bend them up and everything. Yeah, Jason definitely used all the wood. Yeah, I don't use the magnets to uncouple. I just use skewers. Yeah, there's some areas. Sometimes I wish I would have went with the magnets to do the uncoupling, but I've cut so many pins off now that half the time it wouldn't work anyways. So. Dave, yes, haircut time on passenger cars. Passengers were made in Austria. I have a couple of them. Hang on. Blood Atlas? I am way behind. I'm not going to get to the end here because I need to get out of here. John Train, BFGR, how are you? So visually, both types of washers. Yeah, that's a good point too. The red and the gray, the washers to adjust height under the trucks. Mike, probably already gone. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, not just track work and couplers and all that stuff, but definitely want the height gauge, you know, to make sure that you get things set as close to. You want everything set at the right height. Yeah. $10.07. Yeah, well. Yeah, no shit. And you get to talking about Corsairs and World War II flying planes and shit. Pretty G-scale trains. Oh, wow. I don't know if I'm going to see that one or not, but we did start the series at Chosen. We went Sunday and saw the first part of that. There's, I guess, 3 parts to it. It's the final. It's the end of Jesus's life. You know, it's the final when he comes into Jerusalem and all that, and Palm Sunday and all that kind of stuff. And it's good. Watching that from the beginning, it's really good, really well done. Cool. Yeah, it looked like you had a lot of fun up there. I know I'm way behind. Sorry, but yeah, look at a lot of fun up there, Nathan. Sparky's place is amazing, man. It is amazing work. That whole building there and everything. It's just it's awesome. It's got some really cool trains. Yeah, I know. I try like hell not to get into it, but with the tariffs and everything, and everybody getting all bent out of shape, and I get it. I understand. But I think again, we need to kind of just let things ride and see how it goes. And what are you gonna do? Yeah, we need to level the damn playing field, man. It's true. That's okay. It's okay. We shouldn't be paying a shit ton of tariffs for those parts to be shipped over here. We should be making them here, first of all, but if we don't, why are we paying so much? It should be zero. It should be nobody paying tariffs. They're no longer needed. Why is it okay for Europe to use them? Why is it okay for these other countries to use them? As soon as we start talking, everybody's all up in arms. Well, screw off. Well, you're right. That's what I'm saying. It's going to take time. It's going to be painful at first. It's going to take time, and it's okay. I've gone on some. I think I paid under $4 a dozen, which is still high compared to where it was way back, but that's what it is. You gotta get back to some kind of center and then figure things out. I mean, no one's so far the other way. About 2 days max. And the shipping's still high, man. If you're buying a lot of stuff, it's fine. There's that flat rate shipping, which is good. But if you're buying, like I said, buying a little pack of couplers, you're still going to charge me the same amount to ship it as you do a box of stuff. That's weird to me. I don't agree with that. I know damn well it don't cost you as much to ship this as it does to ship, you know, a box that has 10 items in it, 10 train cars or something in it. And I've said it even before Trump got in the first time. I'm tired of politicians. We need a businessman to run this damn country like a business and get things back normal. But the politicians are all about lining their own pockets. Well, that's true. You're small for now, but I mean, at least us guys that know you can try to support you and buy from you, or at least contact you to see what kind of price you can give us. As long as it's similar, I'd rather buy it from you. The things I can get from you, but decoders and that from you and that. So, I mean, if we can help you out, you know, I think as long as you don't break any teeth off of the gears, I mean, maybe, I don't know if you could buy any replacement stuff or not. They say don't open them, avoid the warranty. Whatever the warranty is. He looks at both of the clown. Where for the rods and the tour, yeah. Well, especially with your track, being old scale, you probably need something heavier for sure. So, I'm trains now. It's lock wire from the wire. It's stronger and more forgiving as well. Hey, Jerry, 2057. Sorry, but I said hi to you before. Lock wire. Okay. Well, I think Anthony was closer to Nicky Dabbler than that. Problem is, with traffic and stuff, it took us like 4 hours. It felt like 4 hours to get there. And all the books are going to be coming out. And there's money to be made now off of book deals and stuff about how Biden was absolutely not well the whole time. There's something wrong with that guy when he first got in office, let alone when he got out. No ballast on the ties. There's supposed to be ballast on the ties. Most of mine are pretty clean. There's some. I'm not perfect, believe me. Sometimes you don't want it to look too perfect anyways. Yeah. Well, that's a good point too. I know I've heard good things about microtransfer N scale, like being the standard, kind of like the KD stuff or HO scale, but that's a good point. Even with the scale trains, like the locomotives, the rivet counters come with metal couplers. The rivet counter train cars come with metal. All the operator stuff is all plastic. But it's obviously the couplers get expensive. So if I'm running short, I'm going to need them for something else. I'll just kind of hang on and just once the coupler, like you said, once it starts giving me trouble, then I'll change it out. Yeah, that's okay. Again, like the symbols I have, they're just cheapy, Chinese, from like We Honest or whoever, where I get them cheaper from, and it's just basically red and green. I just want to look and see. Okay, yeah, that's the main line is on. It's not thrown, So all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for block detection and all that stuff. Oh, radio show, I got it wrong in my channel. Watch, just starting this channel. One away from 100. Okay, absolutely. I'm already subscribed to you, but yeah, guys, go check out that channel. Papa John, how you doing, man? Let me see the good parts. That's a good point, man. There you go. 100 subscribers. There's a train freak. Jeff's Trains World. How's your train world? That's good. My train world is good. I'm way behind. Just give you a wrench, though, Jeff. Let's see, I'm going to go there. And think I'm subscribed to you. Yep, I sure am. All right, guys. Well, again, I know I'm way behind here, but I feel like working on scenery. I got to get back to doing some scenery. Special box car. Yeah, it really is, Nathan. It is much bigger when you're in there. You get quite a few people in there, and they're not really tripping on each other or anything either. Haterade. You, Cyrus. You buy local, but last year I was in Europe and nothing is local anymore. It was from China and Germany and Holland and France. It's everywhere. The Chinese are like, they took over all that. All the model trains, toys, all that kind of stuff. Exactly. He's coming up to see you, right, Jason? Flying Crow. Or are you going down to see him? No, he's coming up to your layout, I think. Yeah. And my EU trains, and man, it was ridiculous. Oh wow. Especially if you're trying to like model the EU and you live here, there's not a lot of selection. I don't think there's a lot of places that you could get stuff from. And when you find stuff, I think it's a little pricey. Anthony Dodge, he models, European and stuff. And apparently there's a shop here in Medina, Ohio, not too far from me, that he gets, I can't remember the name of the shop, but he comes here once in a while and has got pretty good selection for European stuff. So there's this Crow, Steve, Childers, and maybe convince Jack, and JD to make the drive. That'd be nice. That'd be a nice little meet and greet. It's a little op session. Well, there you go. Reach out to Jason. 10% off, Crooked Savings. And he'll sell you the decoders too. Let's Crooked. We try harder. Well, he's almost caught up. I got to bounce and get ready for a Zoom meeting. I am caught up right now. Yeah, I skipped all you guys. So, well, I'm going to go now because I'm caught up. But seriously, I do have to get going. It's been almost 2 hours now. It took me all that time just to get caught. I was caught up in the beginning. Then I got on a stupid rant talking about other things. Tried to talk about the layout a little bit, but we kept getting distracted. So, and when my decoders go bad, I'll start to put Nanami in them. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because they do make it for the larger scales too. All right, guys. Don't hate me too much for ranting today. I still love you all. And love all my Canadian brothers up there too. It's just, oh my God, Curly. I'm even running. I've been on time this whole chat. Haven't been behind once, and you weren't even here for it. Now I have to go. See, you missed a good show, Curly. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys next week. And it's Robert's, the Flying Crow is on next Tuesday. And I'll be on the fourth Tuesday for On Track Tuesday. And then catch Jim tonight, Jim Tedesco, 6 p.m. for Shortline Thursday. And maybe I'll catch you over there. But for now, have a great rest of your day, and talk to you next time. Bye for now.